Hey you guys, good morning. For a while I've been making compost in my wheelbarrow. Raised bed mix, rabbit, bunny berries I should say, even biochar. But one thing I've been missing, which I've been a little salty about, is is compost. I'm trying to film here, girls. Compost is a little tricky because you need green and brown. Well, in the fall you have lots of brown leaves. Great. Better shredded, but all the same, wonderful. In the spring, summer, you have green grass clippings. But you don't have those in the same period of time. So in the past, I've saved leaves in garbage bags, you know, like under my trampoline when I had it. It didn't look very attractive, and yeah. Can't really save the grass clippings. So my strategy was to save the leaves so it would last me all summer and spring while I was getting grass clippings, and I would be able to make lots of compost. I did not do this year. I don't have time to drive around collecting leaves. I don't have time to shred them. I don't have a place to keep them. Oh my, it's a noisy chicken yard today. Yeah, I don't have a place to keep them. It does look pretty trashy. So, we're gonna rectify this situation today. We're gonna have a really smelly day. I know I want to say something else, but my kids, I always said to my kids when they used words like that there's so many words in the English language, surely you can find another way to express yourself than that. And so that is funny because I woke up and I said, I'm gonna have a really smelly day today, and they said, surely Mom, you can find another word in the English language to show how you can express that. Okay, tables turned right there. I got it. Good. All right, so we're gonna have a great day. Come along. And this is the secret ingredient that's gonna heat up our compost. Available for all, for the taking.
Go poop.
And friends to help scoop.
Scooping the poop.
Yes.
Basic that poo fork, we're gonna have words.
63 Earths can fit inside Uranus. 64 if you relax.
Oh, Miller.
Oh,
How many poo jokes? That was number one. How many poo jokes can we accomplish?
Should we try like editing like a counter that counts how many poo?
Oh, that's a good idea. Put a counter in.
for poo
That's
jokes?
funny.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
That
I
is
mean,
funny.
we're literally shoveling poo.
Oh, the turn.
You know, I was thinking about, I was reading a story recently and it was talking about an elephant, and it was talking about the elephant backed up and then let loose poo on the ground. And because that's what elephants do. And it was like, the guy stepped back and didn't realize it and slipped and fell in it. And I was like, I wonder, my first thought was, how much compost could you make
with elephant poop? Sometimes.
So clearly, I am addicted to this whole
homesteading mind.
Homesteading
Yeah.
thing, because my first thought is not ew. My first thought is, so how much compost could you make?
I love it. You know, the Dallas Zoo gives elephant poop away at certain times of the year. Yes, they do.
It's such a long drive, though.
You know.
Yeah, and a lot of people go for it. It's
You
really
got a
crowded.
Good friend. When you got a friend who'll go with you to get elephant poop.
Amen,
That's a good
sister. So some compost with hay in it, like this has, believe it or not, the glyphosate, the chemical, the pesticide, or no, the herbicide can go through the animal and compost even, and then you can put it on your garden and it can ruin your garden. So one way to test it is to have a flat and grow beans in it, and if the beans come out good, you're good. But so I've already tested this source, and unless they change sources, which I don't imagine they're doing, and I've already talked to the owner about it, so I think this is safe for my garden. But yes, don't get toxic compost and ruin your garden, because the only way to really rectify that is to remove the earth that you have put in and mixed this with, and start again. So that's never good. So yeah, beware of the killer compost. It's what gardeners call it.
Look at how much we have left. There's still a lot.
Yes.
I call this the running snoop.
All right, come on, Eli. Show us what you got. 3, 2, 1, go. Feel the burn. You got this. I believe in you.
No!
Okay, now you film me.
Okay.
Go back to where I was standing.
Okay. 3, 2, 5, 4, 2, go.
Oh, I messed it up.
Rookie. Who's the taller one now? I mean, who's the shorter one now? Oh.
Still you.
Something
I could do without feeling like I was gonna, walking.
Tall people.
Hey, I made it.
Get up there.
I finally made it.
Nice. You did it.
Short people rule.
Yeah, but I did it faster than you did.
Okay, that is fair.
And so we shovel.
It's a huge wall of sawdust. Let's not mess with it though. Back to poop.
I think we could probably get
All right,
a
it's
little bit more
full. Well, it might kind of fly out, so. Oh yeah, spread it around a bit. Then we can get some more in. Look at this pathway. I love this addition, you guys. That's awesome.
permaculture greens.
And they have, so we built our cubes together, if you haven't watched in the past. And so she has the same design as I do. So same coop, exactly. Hoop coop.
I just don't have a cool chicken yard with metal fencing, and
Right, but so you.
so I have this net fencing.
Oh, and look. You got your compost pile in there, so they're working on it. Yes, and here they
that was as high
come.
as my chest the other day when I piled it up. It was as high as my chest, and then
Wow.
about 4 hours they had it down to that.
Look at them headed out there. They're like, oh,
This is one of our Sussex right here.
yes.
It's a good one.
She's a good girl.
She's a speckled Sussex, I think.
So one thing I've noticed
is that right?
yes. One thing I've noticed is as they get closer to laying, they will start squatting down as you try to pick them up like this.
Yeah.
Or let me see, like this. And they'll put them in these.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And they're working over making compost for you. That's so cool. Get your coop.
Oh wow.
Well, she's telling you about
I'm
it.
getting eggs for the first time.
I don't
Yay.
think she wants me to disturb the eggs.
And you're just using this net fence to kind of keep them contained in a...
Yeah, it's just to create a chicken yard.
Okay.
And here are the eggs. The egg production continues.
Yay! Beautiful.
Are any of them warm?
A few of them are.
They're warmish. Here you want?
And do the chickens ever fly over this net thing?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
they do.
You clip the wings.
So,
Okay, one
yes,
wing,
and
right?
we had a whole conversation about clipping wings after they'd gone to bed at night, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And that was so much easier because they're sleepy and docile and roosting, and you just go in, grab a wing, chop, chop, done. You don't clip you just clip the ends of their feathers off.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds a lot more grim than it actually is.
Yeah.
Right,
not
yeah.
bad.
It's not hard. Yeah.
Looking for beautiful compost.
Look at those girls working that compost. And then she's got another pile over there. So you have been busy making compost and using your chickens to help you. I love it. So this is mostly wood chips and leaves.
And this started off, it's hot. I started because I took pumpkins and wood chips and whatever other green materials that I could come up with. Kitchen
Grass
scraps.
clippings. Oh,
I
kitchen
don't-
scraps.
Well, this
Okay.
was started around the 1st of the year,
Okay.
or December, so it didn't have grass clippings because we don't get grass clippings at that time of year. But so it was whatever organic material I could come up with. In fact, it was early December because I mostly used pumpkins because that's what I could get a hold of. That was the organic material I could get a hold of.
Okay. And the chickens have been working it.
Well, yeah,
But now we're gonna add,
we're gonna add another pile.
yeah. Okay, moving the compost over so we can get by and make a new pile. And this is what composting is.
We were just discussing hot composting, which is something that I have a girlfriend who really loves it. She finds making hot compost very therapeutic. Now, I'm not going to go that far. But hot compost is basically you have greens and browns, you mix them together, every layer you add some water, about 4 or 5 days after you've made your initial pile, and you want your pile to be a minimum of 3 feet wide, 3 feet long, and 3 feet tall. I'm going for 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, or some variation on the thing. You will notice I do not have a tape measure because that's too fancy. This is I like to eyeball things, so I'm going to keep it really simple. So we're going to start with green with the
So this is our green.
manure.
Okay.
And then that's got some green in it, but probably not that much.
There's our brown then. Okay, so we're gonna load that on top of
We're
this.
just gonna start making layers. This is 2 wheelbarrows full of horse, from the horse barn. And so we're just gonna kind of, and I like to kind of make it to where it's got like a little bit of a well on the inside. And then I'm gonna water it here in just a second when I'm satisfied with my fancy shoveling situation here. And then you water this, and you want it to be moist, like you've been washing your dishes and you've rinsed out your sponge, and you maybe can get a drop out of it, but it's not like sopping wet. You don't want your content to be sopping wet because that will create an anaerobic situation, and it'll get stinky, smelly. We want our compost to smell like it's beautiful, sweet earth when it's done. So you let it sit, you make your compost pile, you let it sit for 4 or 5 days. Many people find a thermometer to be helpful, a long arm thermometer to be helpful, a long probe thermometer. I do not have a thermometer, but I do have hands. So when I dig into this compost pile, we should either see some steam, probably not on a day this warm, it's what, like 70 degrees now? It's hot.
I think it's 80.
It feels really hot. But it should feel, it should get to be 140 degrees-ish Fahrenheit for hot compost, and that's supposed to kill pathogens, stop any seeds that could have germinated from germinating. It's supposed to basically sterilize it, if you want to use that word. So I'm guessing that's about wet enough.
Okay, now we add the brown.
Now we're going to do the next one. My chickens helped me by undoing my hard work the other day.
Yeah, so your chickens spread it out and then you pile it up. Every day you do this?
No.
Okay.
Hot compost, if you're doing a traditional hot compost, you don't your chickens aren't really managing that for you. You're managing it yourself. So you would have every 4 or 5 days, you come out and you turn your pile over, basically. So like this pile will go from there to here, from here to there, from there to here, from here to there.
Okay, so
And in
every
the
4
course
or
of
5
about-
days.
In
Okay.
the course of about a month, you should have finished compost because you've heated it up, and heating it up is what makes it go faster.
And you got the wood chips from a chip drop,
I sure did.
which
Free-
I understand
free is
doesn't work
good.
in the country so much, but in the city it certainly works well.
Free is beautiful.
Yeah, one advantage to
Yeah.
urban gardening.
One advantage.
So you had a little bit of trouble keeping it hot.
Yes.
So we're hoping that this will solve the problem with this manure load and the hay, that this will be more green. And we're gonna get some nice compost out of it.
Oh yeah. And then we'll need to cover this with some more brown.
Brown. And then that'll
So
finish
that
it off
every
for
dog
now.
in town that want to come into my backyard and roll on this thing.
And in about 5 days, you'll come stir it again.
Yeah, in
or
5
actually,
days.
you'll move it from there to there.
Yeah, so in 5 days you come in, as long as your chickens aren't helping you.
Yeah.
You come and you move this pile and you basically flip it by forking it, just fork it to the next spot.
Yeah. Okay.
And some people do, you know, bins and things or bays, and that's great, but you know, I'm 5'3", and 4 feet is too high for me to effectively lift over. So, like if I had a barrier of some type around it, it'd be really hard for me to lift up over it at 4 feet high.
Yeah.
So I was like, not a good solution for me.
Yeah, this system works good for short people.
It's just a pile, and, you know.
So there's one good pile of compost cooking. Not compost yet, but yes. All right. And then we're gonna go do the same thing in my property. Homestead victory. Thank you, Miller.
But of course.
So we are filling up my truck with chips to go with the manure so I can make a compost pile when I get home of my own. Eli, you're helping so much.
Yeah, thanks. I like to help where I'm comfortable. Yeah, go more!
So Chip Chop is really good and it works really well in the city. But this load had lots and lots of sticks in it, which might work well if you need a fire pit fuel, but
Yeah.
all depends on your perspective, but yeah.
It's not so great for making compost.
And you go to chipdropjock.com, right?
I believe that's right.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and you just log on and tell them if you don't want something in particular, like if you didn't want black walnut or whatever. But I mean,
Or if you don't want stumps, you say no stumps. That's my recommendation because you can get some pretty big, and no stumps. What I mean is no big pieces of tree trunk.
yeah. You can say I don't want logs, I want shredded.
Yeah.
But
And you'll still get one.
it's not
You
without-
come help now.
It's free, but it's not necessarily, it's definitely not work free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a workout.
Get your booty butt over here.
We got the first layer of mulch.
So the gates are open to the chicken house, so I use this stick to make sure no one get out into the alley. Because over here, we have the truck and feel the burn.
All right, we piled it up here. Now I'm gonna pile it up here and layer it a bit. And I'll leave some for the chickens to play with. I'll leave some for you guys to play with. Hoping I can make some hot compost. Put in my garden. I've been missing it. Okay, I decided to kind of have a comparison. This pile, kind of see how big it is. Compared to my compost area, which is gonna go faster, which is gonna turn easier. And I know that the chickens are gonna just spread this out, but that's okay. I'm thinking I can come get my garden workout every day by just raking it in and throwing it back in the pile. So we'll see what I think. Hey, I don't want to pay for a gym membership, so it's kind of a bonus. My homestead workout, as I like to say. So yeah, what do you guys think will go better and faster. I'm thinking the ones that chickens are spreading out and then I'm piling back. Well, because this has a tendency, my compost area has a tendency to kind of pack down. So I'm kind of think this might be a really good way for me to compost. And if I could keep doing this like every month for the cooler months, I'm not gonna be composting like this in the middle of summer in the heat. I just wouldn't be able to physically do this, I don't think. But yeah, if I can do this through the cooler months here in Dallas, Texas, and get lots of compost going, I think it'll really help my garden. So I'm super psyched about this. Well, you guys, that was a super fun, smelly day. We had a good time. I am tired but happy. And I'm glad to have my compost bin full again. Bye, guys.